Sponsored by Term Provider.
This is Gregory Rich from Habitation Furnishing and Design and Drink in the Style. You may not realize it, but a trained, skilled interior designer can not just beautify your space, they can functionify it as well. I don't know if that's a word, but it is a thing. So why not check out habitationdesign.com and see if it looks like we're right for you. If it does, give us a call and let's schedule an appointment, in person or virtually, to make your home exceptional. habitationdesign.com. Have you heard about the District Edina? Well, if you haven't, you're in for a treat. The District Edina is the Twin Cities' newest and most exciting destination for all things home design and remodeling. If you're looking for flooring or window treatments, furnishings, a builder to handle a remodel or an addition, kitchen or bath work, or even original fine art, you will find it at the District Edina. The District Edina, 7777 Washington Avenue South, and online at, wait for it, thedistrictedina.com.
Hey, Cudahy to all my friends and relatives in four directions. This is Robert Pilot of Native Roots Radio presents I'm Awake. I'm here to ask you for your support. Finding honest Native-centered news is not easy. But with your support, we're able to provide accurate information about Standing Rock, Line 3, treaty violations, and COVID-19 in our Native communities. Please visit Native Roots Radio Network on Patreon and donate if you can. That's Native Roots Radio Network on Patreon. Pinigigi, and thank you for your support.
Hey, John, I heard you're turning 65 this year. Time to start comparing your Medicare insurance options.
Oh, I am so overwhelmed with all the different Medicare companies and plan designs. I don't even know where to begin.
Really? I worked with compareyourmedicare.com and they made my Medicare decisions seem easy.
Huh, really? Well, what do they do?
Compareyourmedicare.com represents several of the top Medicare insurance companies in Minnesota. A local licensed agent will help you compare Medicare plans to determine which products best meet your needs and budget.
Wow, that sounds a lot easier than going to a bunch of different Medicare seminars on my own.
Way easier. Just go to compareyourmedicare.com and request a free, no-obligation review. You can even schedule a virtual consultation from the comfort of your own home.
Hi, this is Jared with compareyourmedicare.com. We pride ourselves in serving our community's Medicare needs. Whether you're planning to retire early or work past age 65, we can guide you through how and when to apply for Medicare. Go to compareyourmedicare.com to schedule a consultation.
With your AM 950 weather, I'm Brett Johnson. Look for cloudy skies tonight with a low around 39, Saturday rain with a high near 52, and Sunday partly cloudy with a high around 49. The snow is melted and your lawn is finally visible again. But is it the lush green lawn you want it to be? If not, Natural Lawn can help. They take an organic-based approach to lawn care that's safer for your family and your pets. Don't wait for summer. Visit naturallawn.com to make your lawn envy-worthy.
Portions of Native Roots Radio may be pre-recorded.
It's a good day to be indigenous.
Get up, stand up.
They are going to become more brutal.
Couldn't cut, hitting cut again.
Because all the hippies were trying to be Indians anyway.
They're going to become more repressive because it's a matter of dollars and their illusionary concepts of power.
Hey, Victor.
We must live in balance with the earth.
And also with recent happenings at Wounded Knee.
I am awake. Welcome to Native Roots Radio presents I'm Awake, and I'm your host, Wakanja Hade. Hey, Cudahy to all my friends and relatives in four directions. You are listening to Native Roots Radio presents I'm Awake, and I'm your host, Robert Pilot. We discuss local, national, Native news and events. And as you know, Wendy, Native issues are human issues, and human issues are Native issues.
This portion of the show is supported by MN350, a grassroots organization fighting for climate justice.
Yes, we need to fight for climate justice. And speaking of which, we have Nancy Beaulieu on, Leech Lake member, and up there in the deep north. Nancy, welcome. We want a quick update from you, and it's great to see you. And you got your cool headband on. Oh,
yeah. Bonjour. It's always a pleasure to be here in studio with you guys, even though it's like a Zoom in, but I feel like I'm here. I first and foremost want to give a shout out to all the nonprofits and some of the tribes and like our tribal historical preservation officers for supporting us out in the sugar bush. And so I want to thank Indian Collective, Indigenous Environmental Network, MN350, Leech Lake and White Earth and Red Lake, all of them and all the allies that have been out there with us. Because Robert, I think this following Monday, it'll be 6 weeks we've been out there and we are in ceded territory. So for those of those listeners that don't know who I am, I'm Nancy Beaulieu from Leech Lake, and I'm the Northern Organizer for Minnesota 350. And I help lead the campaign work at Minnesota 350. And a big part of who we are is being Anishinaabe in the sugar bush, and we don't need a permit. We don't need to ask for permission. And what's really unique about this place that we're at, it's in ceded territory, meaning we gave up the title, but we never surrendered our inherent right to hunt, fish, gather, and travel. So we are there asserting those treaty rights in a peaceful way off of the reservation. And being just about 6 weeks in, the DNR has not been back, even though they try to push us out and confiscate our, sugar bush and make us leave. We weren't having it. We stood our ground, and we hope that our experience here in the ceded territory, holding spaces on Anishinaabe in the sugar bush, that we inspire other relatives across Turtle Island to hold space just like we are, because we have that right.
Yeah, definitely. And it's been fun to see all the people up there and sugar bushing. To just let our audience know, especially our allies out there that may be listening to our show for the first time, what that is.
Yeah, so the maple trees, they have a water that's sweet and it's tasty, and it's like water, first medicine, so it's part of our stories, part of our culture. And there's just a particular time of the year when the temperatures are below freezing during the night and above freezing during the day, and it allows that water at night to go up and back down and bring it to us if we're there to collect it. So we're out there doing ceremonies, we're out there doing teachings, we're building awareness. And I think, one of the best pieces about being out there is having the children come out. We've had 2 teachings this week from the Red Lake Charter School. And what's so heartwarming is when we hear our children come out there and speak our language, Robert. It's what you hear out there. And I just said yesterday, I thank the kids for speaking in our language, and I said our ancestors would be proud. So we're doing a lot of good things out there. We had a beaver feast, we've had the maple camp, and we've had drying the tears ceremony, where we had a ceremony for loved ones we've lost in the last year. So I encourage people, again, to remind the government that we have these rights. And again, we haven't been bothered by DNR, the law enforcement. And what's really means a lot to us too is the neighbors haven't been out there to harass us. And I think because we worked on building relationship and awareness, and we continue to spoon feed these people that don't understand why we have these rights. It's kind of given us a platform where we could be out there in a good way. And I think we're a fine example of what that looks like.
Yeah, and it's interesting too. I know some things happened when the snow melted, Nancy, and you guys are, as true ecologists, picked up the mess and did it in a good way.
Yeah, and we even had to haul out some stuff the hunters left behind. So they always want to say, we leave the mess. Well, and that's not true all the time. I think they're just as guilty as whatever they're accusing us of. But I think what warms my heart, though, is that we're out there and we're showing, the rest of the world what this looks like. And it kind of goes back to Firelight. We've just seen our defendants, our non-Native allies, their cases were dismissed because the judge knew in the end that we were going to win, with the treaty testimony going forward. And they kind of surrendered and dismissed those cases. But that actually helps build a foundation of why we're at the sugar bush now, because we proved to the state of Minnesota with our court case when we won last year, we reiterated to the state of Minnesota that they lack subject matter jurisdiction over the Anishinaabe protecting their natural resources on or off the reservation. And again, the sugar bush is on ceded territory off the reservation, and we're trying to protect 625 acres from them logging or thinning out in a bad way. So again, it's part of our creation story, the migration story, and the Red Lake Trail. So we're out there in a land back status right now, Robert, and we're going to continue to be there. And we're going to do fish camp. We're going to do Monoman camp and ceremonies. And we're going to take a little pause because now we're in a really muddy state out here. So we're going to pause out for a couple weeks moving forward. And we're going to get the road and the conditions right out there. And we're going to invite everyone out for a round dance. And that includes you, Robert, and so.
And Wendy, I always get a bad hip on that round dance, Wendy. You know, I got to start stretching out a little better.
Yeah, you always come back limping.
Yeah. So you got time, Robert, a couple of weeks to start stretching those crickety parts in your body and get ready to round dance with us. So yeah, we're going to make an event out of it, and we're going to, invite people to come out, and we got plenty of room for everybody. There's parking on the road and whatnot. So we want people to bring their hand drums, good energy, and come see what this is all about, and then take a small piece of that home with you and do it just like I did from Standing Rock, because Standing Rock brought me where I'm at today. And we're living it now. So the Sugar Bush, our intention is to breathe life back into our culture and into our treaties, and be out there in our ceded territory, reminding them that what good is that fish if it's poison? So we have to be out there protecting our natural resources, because it's usually the people doing it. So this is an organic approach to holding that space. But again, we couldn't do it without the support of our nonprofits and our allies holding that space with us. So again, Chi-miigwech to everybody that's been out there.
Hey, just before we let you go here, can you give a shout out to how we could support MN350, or how people out there can support your work?
Sure. Well, right now at Minnesota 350, we are in our deal. So just go to our website and hit the donate link and donate to us. And then when I come off a StreamYard here, I'm going to go into the Facebook, and I'm going to share the link to the camp. And we also have a GoFundMe there, because it's not cheap staying out there. And we just need financial support to build a kitchen, because food is an integral part to our camp.
Right on. Hey, Nancy, thanks for stopping in on a Friday. Really appreciate you and your work, and have a good weekend. Ho!
You too. Take care, guys.
All right. Hey, you're listening to Native Roots Radio presents I'm Awake, and up next, State Senator Mary Kunesh. We'll be right back after this short break.
Stay with us.
Ho!
Unwanted sexting or photos, inappropriate jokes, even tickling or wrestling can feel like a violation. Catcalling, cornering, or groping, getting them drunk or high for sex, recording sexual acts without permission, hurting someone because of their sexual orientation, raping a family member, a child, a date, a friend, a stranger, purchasing a human being for sex. You make the choice every single time. Sexual violence is many things. Make a choice. Do not do it.
Sponsored by the Minnesota Indian Women's Sexual Assault Coalition.
The Mary T family of companies serves seniors and people with a wide range of disabilities. We provide home health care, hospice services, and accessible rental housing. This is Mary T, and we'd like you to join us. We're hiring direct care professionals, CNAs, nurses, and other support services. Our mission is to provide quality, personalized services to meet the unique and evolving needs of the people that we serve. Join a Minnesota family-owned company that was founded on a history of care. Apply today at marytinc.com/careers.
Hey, Olgama, I've been hearing a lot about this term, climate justice. What is that?
Climate justice is recognizing that the negative impacts of climate change don't affect all people equally. It also means transitioning from a fossil fuel-based economy to a more sustainable future. MN350 is one of the groups that's pushing for this transition to protect our futures. You can even get involved too.
That's great, especially since I'm concerned about pipeline projects like Line 3. How can I help MN350?
Just find them on Facebook or visit mn350.org.
Hey, Twin Cities, Latunji with Latunji's Palette Bakery and Cafe, located at 1400 Park Avenue South in the Elliott Park community. We invite you to discover the best peach cobbler, coffee, soups, salads, and sandwiches in the Twin Cities. And also, you can find my delectable treats at North Market Grocery Store, Annex Farmers Market, Plant-Based Pop-Up, Bobby and Steve's, Handsome Hog, and our website, latunjispalette.com. That's latunjispalette.com.
Hi, I'm Jane Fonda, and you're listening to Native Roots Radio.
And we're back to Native Roots Radio presents I'm Awake, and this is Robert Pilot.
This portion of the show is supported by the Minnesota Indian Women's Sexual Assault Coalition.
Hey, we have State Senator Mary Kunesh, and I mean, she's been doing bills, writing bills for the last few months here, and super tired, but we really, really appreciate you stopping in and giving us updates, and there's a lot going on. Welcome, State Senator.
How mataki ape, everybody. Good to be here this Friday.
All right, cool. So, hey, some updates. I know we texted a little bit today. There's a lot going on at the state capitol here in Minnesota.
We are, we're coming close to the end of our session. I think we might have 4 weeks, 3 to 4 weeks left. We have to finish by the 24th or the 22nd or 24th of May. But we're at the stage in the legislature where we have heard all of the bills. The chairs and the committee have put together an omnibus bill, which is like a big bill with all the little bills in it. I say it's like a manila envelope that you stuff a bunch of bills into it and hand it off and get it voted off of the floor with a majority vote. And now we're going into conference time. So we'll take that omnibus bill and we have to match it up with the House. So I'm in the Senate. The House has an education, and I'm talking about education finance because I'm the education finance chair. So the House, the Senate, and then the governor also has a bill for education. We come together, we look at all three of our bills, and we merge them together. So tomorrow we'll be meeting, and our nonpartisan staff has put together what we call same and similars. So they go through all the bills and sort them out and list the ones that are the same, the ones that are similar, and then we start working on, working to merge those bills. Maybe a little bit of the language is different or allocations are a little bit different. We have to come to an agreement, but then there might be some things, and I think there will be, that we don't agree on, and we'll continue to work on that. Our goal is to hopefully have a final bill with all three of those bodies of the legislature merged into one by the end of next weekend. So that's kind of where we are, but all the committees are doing that right now. Once that bill is done, then we take it back to the floor. We pass it off of the floor in our own, in the House and the Senate, and then we send it to the governor, and then that's the deal for the session.
Wow,
So
that's exciting.
Yeah, but today we had a standalone bill, a very important standalone bill that we passed off of the Senate, and that is legalizing adult use cannabis.
Wow. I think I can turn this on real quick for a lot of you guys out there. Yeah, do a little applause there. Yes. Yeah, that's I know the House passed that. How did it go through the Senate?
It went pretty well. The thing is that Senator Lindsay Port has been working on this since January, and I wish I had the numbers. I think it's gone through 15 different committees. It's had, I think close to 30 different amendments that either were accepted or not accepted, but most of them were accepted. A lot of bipartisan work went into this. More of the amendments that were taken along the way came from Republicans than the Democrats. And for those of you that are listening, the Democrats, and we call ourselves DFL, the Democrat Farmer Labor Party here in Minnesota, we are in the majority in the House, but we're only the majority by one person, one vote. So many of those, as I said, at least 2/3, if not more, were amendments along the way, came from Republicans, and Chair Port was very intentional about working with Republicans. And so, of course, there was discussion on the floor and pushback, and there was a little kerfuffle in the middle that actually ended up working out just fine. And we were expecting to be on the floor till 3 a.m. And I think it was like 10 minutes after 4 that they finally got it passed. I missed the final vote. I know. I missed the final vote because I was at the MIFPA bill signing ceremony. But it's a success. And, you know, if you want me to go into a little bit of detail, I will. But all in all, I think we're on our way.
Wow, that's interesting. I'd love you to go into detail. And one of the things that I heard, it was like 172 pages. So there's due diligence happening in this
Oh,
bill.
yeah. It's been, you know, we have been working on this probably for 5 years. When I was in the House, so I've been in the Senate for 3 years, and then in the House for 4 years. And the last 2 years I was in the House, we were working on you know, getting a good idea of what Minnesotans wanted. So we actually had listening sessions for 2 years in the summer all over the country. All over the state. And listening to communities, listening to people talk about it, the good things, the not good things. I went to a number of those and held them in my own community. And, you know, I would say overwhelmingly, of course, the people that went were in favor of it. And a lot of them were veterans. A lot of them were in chronic pain and found this to be the only way. And Minnesota has medical marijuana already, but it's a hard process to get in there. And then, of course, I don't think insurance pays for it. So then you pay premium for this medicinal marijuana. You know, I had people come up to me in the craziest places and start telling me their story about why they use marijuana, anxiety, mental health issues, as I said, chronic pain, veterans with PTSD, some that were recreational use. I'm not going to lie. But you know what? It was overwhelming that this was a good, something that Minnesotans wanted. And so we looked at what Colorado did. We looked at what other states have done and really tried to create the best process, the best program. And, you know, one of the most important things, this isn't just to provide a recreational high. This is to expunge all of those people that have records or have been jailed for minor offenses. You know, Black men specifically were incarcerated or have records 5 times more than white people do for the same issue. So just for possession, you know, if you get caught and you're a Black man, you are 5 times more likely to have a record or go to jail. And this is ridiculous. So there's a lot to it.
Are we talking about expunging too? Is that the proper way of saying that?
Expungement. Yep. Yep. We are looking at expungement. I can. So this law, this bill that we have would automatically expunge low-level cannabis convictions, and it establishes a cannabis expungement board to review convictions that aren't automatically expunged to determine any kind of resentencing eligibility. It eliminates current controlled substance-related crimes for the possession or sale of cannabis, and it looks at other states' practices to override the cannabis illicit market with legal regulated market. establishes new crimes related to the possession, sale, and cultivation of cannabis and cannabis products. So there's a whole regulatory framework that they've put together, and have been very, very intentional to make sure this is a good, safe program that will be taxed and will, at the end of the day, go towards different benefits within our state.
Yeah, that's awesome. And, it helped me remember when Clinton was president, Mary, and we got less than a minute here in this segment, but when Clinton was president, he did the 3 strikes. And if you remember that, a lot of it was BIPOC people with low drug things going into prison for lifetime because that was their 3rd strike. And that is just insane to even think about. If I'm correct on that, I thought it was something like that, wasn't it?
I do remember it, but I don't remember those details.
Yeah, cool. Well, hey, we're here with State Senator Mary Kunesh with some good news. Let's get some more tax base going here and get the right people selling our stuff to ourselves. You're listening to Native Roots Radio presents I'm Awake, and we'll be right back, Wendy, after this short break.
Stay with us.
Oh. Minnesota has the only original wolf population in the continental United States.
And 80% of Minnesotans believe the wolf should be protected.
Howling for Wolves is asking Minnesotans to respect our true wildlife manager, the wolf.
Their survival is critical to our ecosystems, our communities, and even our economy.
As highly intelligent animals with strong social bonds, Minnesota wolves deserve to be protected and admired.
Learn more at howlingforwolves.org. Let's live and let howl.
This is Ross Stadheim, partner at MJSB Employment Justice. At our firm, we specialize in cases where our clients tried to do the right thing by reporting illegal or unethical conduct and were demoted or fired. There are laws in place that protect people like you who tried to do the right thing by reporting a problem but were retaliated against. At MJSB Employment Justice, we are fearless advocates who will protect your rights and obtain justice, whether it be a Fortune 500 company or something smaller.
Be heard. You deserve better. Contact us today at mjsbjustice.com.
Dare to be great and up your game both personally and professionally. If you're feeling stuck in a rut and unsure how to achieve your goals, then check out the Dare to be Great event on May 20th at the Parkview Event Center at the Mall of America. It features 2 amazing nationally known speakers to give you that extra motivation. Jack Canfield, the legendary success coach and founder of the Chicken Soup for the Soul series, will share his proven formula for success with over 100 million books sold. And Michael Vukovic, the soulful success coach and author of The Mind, the Muscle, the Miracle, will inspire and empower the audience with science, philosophy, and evolutionary wisdom. General admission tickets are $197, while VIP tickets are $297 and include a private lunch and Q&A with the speakers and discounted tickets to the Nickelodeon theme park. Don't miss this amazing opportunity to learn from 2 gifted speakers and move your life from good to great. That's the Dare to be Great event on Saturday, May 20th from 8 to 4 at the Parkview Event Center at the Mall of America. Tickets and details at outrageoussuccess.com.
Hey, AM 950 listeners. My name is JP Debragosian. I'm the host of This Queer Book Saved My Life, the show where LGBTQ guests share the queer books that saved their lives with the very authors who wrote them. This week, I'm co-hosting with Enrico Manalo from the DEI Is podcast. We're talking with Brian McCormick about queer inclusivity at work. What does that really mean to be queer inclusive? What does belonging look like for queer folk? Join us every Sunday at 6 p.m. right here on AM 950, the progressive voice of Minnesota.
New at Woodland Stoves and Fireplaces. Kuma wood stoves and fireplace inserts. American-made, sturdy and efficient wood heaters. All models qualify for 30% tax credit you can earn for installing efficient and renewable wood heat. Come see the new wood-burning Kuma stoves and fireplace inserts.
Woodland Stoves and Fireplaces has been selling wood-burning products since 1977. Kuma wood burners are hard-working home heaters made from heavy, laser-cut steel. Kuma stoves and fireplace inserts have cast iron doors and large self-cleaning glass windows. You can see the firelight and feel the heat from their efficient fire. One of Woodland's many choices to make fire work for you and your home.
We're with
the chimney and installation experts. They not only install, but will guide you if you want to install yourself. Woodland Stoves and Fireplaces has over 35 working wood, gas, and electric units on display at the corner of East Franklin and Riverside Avenue in Minneapolis. Woodland Stoves and Fireplaces, out of the ordinary products and services.
Next time on Philosophy Talk, why we hate.
White nationalist and neo-Nazi hate groups are on the rise around the globe.
Ugh, I hate those guys.
Well, I don't like them either, but shouldn't we be trying to love more, hate less?
I don't know. Isn't it appropriate to hate hateful people?
Philosophy Talk, every Sunday at 8 a.m. on AM 950.
Why we hate. Next time on Philosophy Talk.
Get paid to upgrade. Warner Stellian will buy your appliance for $50 during our trade-in sale. No one else saves you more time from shopping to free professional delivery like Warner Stellian. Put us to the test. Shop Minnesota family-owned WarnerStellian.com.
With your AM 950 weather, I'm Brett Johnson. Look for cloudy skies tonight with a low around 39, Saturday rain with a high near 52, and Sunday partly cloudy with a high around 49. Come visit the award-winning Hazel's Northeast in Minneapolis for breakfast, lunch, dinner, or weekend brunch. For breakfast, try the slow-cooked brisket hash, hippie cakes, and meat waffle, while for lunch, enjoy favorites like the veggie burger or beet salad. Located off 29th and Johnson and at hazelsnetogo.com.
This is Leonard Peltier. I'm in Coleman 1, U.S. Penitentiary, and I'm listening to Native Roots Radio.
And we're back to Native Roots Radio presents I'm Awake, and this is Robert Pilot.
This portion of the show is supported by the Native American Community Development Institute in Minneapolis.
Hey, we have State Senator Mary Kunesh on, and we're just talking about some bills and things. State Senator, it must be a difference between night and day from last time you were in session to this time, where there seemed to be no action, and now there's plenty of action and bills being passed.
Plenty of action is right. It's a whole different kind of experience in the Senate this year. For the last 2 years, we've been in my party, the DFL Democrats have been in the minority. And so the GOP did not really include us in a lot of the decision making or in the conference committee program that's going to be happening here. In fact, in the whole 2 years that I was in the minority, I had one bill heard, just one single bill heard. It was a great one. It's the creation of MMIR license plate. And I can tell you, I think that's going to pass this year for sure.
Wow.
But it is very different because we Dems came in just ready to go. We had some bottled up frustrations and really planned to make some big changes. We've already codified reproductive freedom. So abortions are still legal in Minnesota, and we are doing more legislation to ensure that happens. We passed lunch and breakfast for our school kids at no cost. We passed trans. We are actually a sanctuary state now for trans folks, not just kids, but for families. There are a number of families that are moving to Minnesota or who have moved to Minnesota because they have trans kids, and the state that they were living in, the parents could have their children removed and the parents could go to jail. We've just been doing all kinds of really, really important good work, and we're going to continue to do that with these omnibus bills that are coming up. Last year, the chair of education finance was a GOP guy, and his end of the year, the whole budget for education for the state of Minnesota was a $30 million allotment for a literacy program, a privately run literacy program. And that was it. No mental health support, no additional supports for the teachers or the kids or anything like that. And so my bill is like $2.2 billion, if you can even imagine. $2.2 billion. I mean, this might be the only time we ever have this kind of a surplus. And because GOP did not pass any bills, like they did really nothing last year, the surplus that we had from last year, we are now spending this year. So they really shot themselves in the foot. And so bonding is going to happen for the infrastructure, roads and bridges and that sort of thing. Really, like the first biggest, best investment that we've ever had in education, health and human services, ag, everything. We are just trying to make sure that we're looking at the little person. What does it take to get those farmers, to help those farmers, those family farmers, are folks of color that want to get into farming, or young folks that want to get. We're just, losing these family farms right and left, and we want to make sure that we're supporting them. We want to make sure that we leave a clean, healthy world, environment for our next generation. So we've got all kinds of investments that way. I mean, it just goes on and on.
I saw State Representative Kowalski is, I don't know if she's ahead of a bill that's coming up about not taxing the retirees on their Social Security, and that don't make, as a couple, I think it was over $100,000, and then single is $78,000 a year.
Yep.
That's something that I think everybody can get on board on.
So we'll tax those over 100,000 and over the 78, not the the lower income seniors. So that is a bill that's moving in different, both in the House and the Senate have adjustments to Social Security. It will mean that, perhaps our we won't have some of the funds that are available to use towards our aging population. But this is really important. And I've been hearing so many stories about our elderly folks, especially women. As you look at who is aging out, these are women whose husbands work. They maybe had a little part-time job or something like that, and never built up a lot of wealth for themselves, don't have Social Security themselves to draw from. So they're drawing their husband's Social Security. And they are very, very, very limited incomes. And, I got this senior living place near me where the corporate owners keep just jacking their rent up like 12% and 12% and nickel and dime them to death and charge them extraordinary amounts for their utilities. And there's nothing some of them are fighting back, because I had two residents come into my office yesterday with this very well put together binder of information and then letters and stories saying we need help. I mean, there was a resident there that was eating cat food because that's all she could afford, and she was too proud to ask for help. And it's the beauty of it is this community is coming together and helping each other. Like if you're feeling anxious, call us. If you need somebody to talk to, call us. If you don't know how to fill out a form, call us. But they have just created such an incredible, human support system. I just, it almost makes me want to cry.
Wow. Yeah, it's important to take care of our elders for sure. Yeah, Wendy, it's heartbreaking, isn't
It
it?
is heartbreaking. And for someone to have to eat cat food or, scraps, or go out and look for leftover foods, it's just, that's really sad to me.
It is. And, many of them are on medication. Some of them that have CPACs or a heart implant. What do you call those? pacemaker.
Oh, a
They have
pacemaker.
to have electricity to monitor, and they're turning off their utilities. So it's heartless. It's just heartless. It's all about that eternal dollar at the end of the day. And I talked with some of my other legislators, and we're going to start working on some things. Hopefully we can bring the AG in or something like that, but we can't let this continue for any reason at all.
Exactly. And Native Americans, and I know even in the old days, our elders were, respected, and things like this wouldn't happen to them. And it's heartbreaking to hear because of the almighty dollar. And Wendy, healthcare the same way, right?
Yeah, it is.
Yep.
So always profits over patience, profits over compassion, profits over everything.
Yeah.
It's tough.
It is
Yeah.
tough. Well, State Senator, we got a few more minutes. What lies ahead here, besides you're ending your session on the week of my birthday, and would there be a major celebration? I think May is Native American Heritage Month, and there's so many things going on there, and things at the Capitol too.
Yep. On May 5th, we will be having the MMIR Remembrance Day at the Minnesota State Capitol in St. Paul. At noon, it will begin, and there will be prayer and song and speeches. We will start it off with a walk around the Capitol grounds. And I would encourage anyone and everyone to come out. I think there will be food and music, but it'll be a day to remember our missing and murdered Indigenous relatives. And it's important that we continue to keep that work. In Minnesota, we create a missing and murdered Indigenous relatives office, a permanent office in our state government. And Director Juliette Rudy now has 3 staff members, and they are really bent on getting to figure out how to access data within our state government, share data within our state government, how to start working with county and local sheriffs and police when things are happening, cold cases. I'm keeping my fingers crossed that we will pass that specialty license plate for MMIR, because that little bit of money that you pay for that license plate will go into a reward program for our MMIR. And so there's a lot of really good things. And as we work on these omnibus bills and come towards a final agreement, I mean, it's going to be unbelievable of the good work we're going to do for Minnesota.
Wow, totally exciting. And we really, it seems like, Wendy, we have the front seat to that with State Senator Mary Kunesh coming on every week.
Yeah, it's unbelievable, isn't it? I'm so happy, and thank you so much for your work, Mary. It really means so much, and you're awesome, seriously.
Right.
Oh, Wopila, everybody.
Wow, Peeny Gigi, that was State Senator Mary Kunesh of the great state of Minnesota. Up next, we're going to be having our Sacred Animal section with Wendy, and we're going to talk about
Fun Fact Friday.
Yay! All right. You're listening to Native Roots Radio Presents I'm Awake.
Stay with us. Hey, Olgama, I've been hearing a lot about this term, climate justice. What is that?
Climate justice is recognizing that the negative impacts of climate change don't affect all people equally. It also means transitioning from a fossil fuel-based economy to a more sustainable future. MN350 is one of the groups that's pushing for this transition to protect our futures. You can even get involved too.
That's great, especially since I'm concerned about pipeline projects like Line 3. How can I help MN350?
Just find them on Facebook or visit mn350.org.
Minnesota has the only original wolf population in the continental United States.
And 80% of Minnesotans believe the wolf should be protected.
Howling for Wolves is asking Minnesotans to respect our true wildlife manager, the wolf.
Their survival is critical to our ecosystems, our communities, and even our economy.
As highly intelligent animals with strong social bonds, Minnesota wolves deserve to be protected and admired.
Learn more at howlingforwolves.org. Let's live and let howl.
The local advertisers you hear on AM 950 are the lifeblood of the station. If you find yourself regularly tuning in, or if you appreciate the diversity of content we deliver, please take the time to support our advertisers. Even if it's just to thank them for backing AM 950, your voice and support can go a long way. Help keep the station going strong while investing in our local community. Find the complete list of on-air supporters by visiting the advertisers page at am950radio.com. That's am950radio.com.
J&S Bean Factory is a native-owned, community-supported, cozy, artsy coffee shop which offers roasted on-site beans, live music, and baked goods. Relax in the beautiful outside patio. City Pages writes, voted top 10 coffee shops. Tucked into a quiet corner of St. Paul's Highland Park neighborhood, this coffee shop roasts beans on-site from the best coffee-growing countries in the world. Located at 1518 Randolph Avenue, St. Paul. The good stuff.
Welcome back to Native Roots Radio presents I'm Awake, and this is Robert Pilot.
This portion of the show is supported by Howling for Wolves, protecting wolves for future generations.
Was that thing, Wendy? Was a four-person howl, and we're
Yeah.
going to be saying see you later because we don't say goodbye in our own way to Zoe, and we're going to miss Zoe. So
Yeah, we want Zoe to know that she did an awesome job and we really appreciate it. She will be missed very much, and we are inviting her to come back anytime she, wants to come back. So,
Right.
yeah, thank you, Zoe, for all your hard work. We really appreciate it.
Chimigwich to all of you and everyone at Native Roots Radio. It's been a really wonderful experience.
right on, Zoe. We hope we keep your family listening to the show even though you're not on. Cool. Hey, it's Fun Fact Friday, and I want to hand it over to my beautiful wife, Wendy Pilot. Go ahead, Wen.
Hey, everybody. My name is Hanaji Hihani. That means cares for them. I was given that name by my Dega Curtis. Curtis goes by Mashke Hanajingo, which means walks on white clouds. I'm a humane policy volunteer leader for the Humane Society of the United States, and I work on animals at the local and state level, and it's always a fun thing to do that. Yeah. So on Fridays, we do a Fun Fact Friday just because it's the weekend. We want to go into the weekend with some lightness in our heart and just have a nice calm weekend, and we don't want to talk about anything too controversial or sad or anything like that.
I remember one Fun Fact Friday was a downer. Remember that?
I do remember that. Well, I didn't read the whole article before I started reading it on the air.
It's going to get better. It's going to get better.
I thought it was funny, but it wasn't. It was a horrible one. But anyway.
That's cool.
Yeah, I got this list of 300 random animal facts, and it's from the Number Fact site. It's written by Luke Ward, yeah, and it's on Science, Nature, and Animals. And again, it's 300 random animal facts. And we're starting from the backwards. We started from 300 and we're going to number 1. Wow. And I think we're around 211. So we'll see. I might have already did these, but this is what we're doing. So
you're right on.
Yeah. So 211. There are currently over 1 million animal species on planet Earth. Yeah, I would think that they were more, but 1 million. Million's a pretty good number. Agrizoophobia. Agrizoophobia is a fear of, do you want to guess, Robert? Agrizoophobia.
Of corn in the No, I don't know.
Agrizoophobia. It's a fear of wild animals.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh.
I think I mentioned this one before, or I might have just read it in my head and thought I said it, but a puppy is born blind, deaf, and toothless.
Like a dog puppy?
Yeah,
Oh,
a dog
wow.
puppy. Yeah, a dog puppy. What other? Well, I guess could be like a fox. No, I think fox are called kits.
Yeah, that's a fun fact too.
Yeah. A squid's eye can get as big as a basketball.
What?
Yes.
Wait.
A squid's eye can get as big as a basketball.
Okay.
I don't know. See, they don't give you any
Explanation? Now you're
Blah.
talking like me,
I just
Wendy.
woke up. I took a real nappy this afternoon.
Your voice is a little deeper
It
too.
is, isn't it? It's what happens when I have a little nappy. Snakes do not blink.
Oh.
I bet you they have dry eyes.
Yeah, Visine
Mhm.
is what we used to use in high school.
Now, this is something really dumb. An owl has a small brain. That's all it says. Like, well, duh.
We don't like to talk
Like
about
you could say
animals.
a mouse has a small brain too.
We don't like to talk about owls in our culture, you know what I mean?
Oh, owls.
You ever see like reservation dogs when they have an owl on it and they'll have stars on the eyes so you can't look at the owl in the
Oh,
eyes?
really?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. The average dog can run about 19 miles an hour. The average dog.
Well, I bet you ours could run faster when it had its 4 legs.
I know, when Wanda had her 4 legs. Yeah. Well, if I ever let her off the leash, I bet you she could run faster than 19 miles an hour.
Especially even with those 3 legs.
I know.
Oh.
Yeah. She tore her ACL, for those who do not know.
Or do not remember.
Wanda, because she's a little bit of a wild dog. She's a small Shih Tzu. She's 10 pounds. She's very, very cute. And she blew out her ACL and she had to have surgery. So she went through this whole big surgery and we've been pampering her. I took her back to the vet. It was just yesterday. We got the bad news that she blew out surgery. So now I'm getting doomy and gloomy here, but now she has to rest for 3 weeks and then we're going to reevaluate the whole surgery, but she may need to have another surgery. So
And that's a Wanda fun fact for Friday.
yeah, we might have to get a GoFundMe page going on this. But one survey reports that 33% of dog owners admit they talk to their dogs on the phone or leave messages on answering machines while they're away.
What?
I know sometimes when I'm in New York, we FaceTime and I FaceTime with Wanda.
Did you ever see that one video with those 2 dogs that
Oh my God, you guys have to look this up. They're 2 dogs and they're Zooming with each other. They're best friends and
they got so
they're
excited
so
to see
happy
each other
to see each other
with the
over Zoom.
iPad.
And then one starts crying and then the other one starts howling. I'm
I-
sure you could just look it up. 2 dogs
I'm
Zooming.
sorry, I love TikTok.
It's so, oh, it was TikTok?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah, it was really, really cute. So listen to this one. I didn't know this. A chicken with red earlobes will produce brown eggs, and a chicken with white earlobes will produce white eggs. Yeah.
I don't have a response to that at all.
Okay. Well, China has the most goats in the world. They have over 170 million goats.
Why
they have
is
the most
that?
people too. So they probably have the most of everything there. Let's just say they have the most of everything.
Good and bad.
Good and bad is right. There is only one pink bottlenose dolphin that has been discovered in an inland lake in Louisiana, USA.
Inland lake. Wow, that's crazy.
A pink bottlenose dolphin in inland lake in Louisiana. The animal on the Firefox logo is not a fox, but a red panda. I don't know if I know that logo.
Say that again?
The animal on the Firefox logo is not a fox, but a red panda.
Oh, I don't know.
I don't know that.
Nina says chickens have earlobes. What? And then you could maybe do a whole show on that next week.
I know, that's crazy,
That
right?
is crazy.
Oh my God. An elephant can smell water up to 3 miles away.
Wow.
I didn't know that water smelt. Right? What does it smell like?
Well, not chlorine like it does in Minnesota or in our house.
I'm going to mention.
Jeez.
I'm going to mention the animal that you don't like.
No.
Many species of owls have special feathers for flying silently.
Okay.
Yeah, so other animals, their prey, right, can't hear them.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Two dogs were among the Titanic survivors.
What?
Yeah.
That's a good fun fact.
Yeah, I didn't know that. 2 dogs. I love dogs. 79% of pet owners sleep with their pets.
Only 79.
I know. I thought it would be higher, actually,
Well,
right?
it's hard with those big dogs.
Yeah, I know. Well, we sleep with our 2 dogs. They're in the bed with us, and then the cat comes up too.
We used to have a Chihuahua that if we moved, he'd bite me in the head.
Growl, and bite you. I know. Time. Oh, I only have that much time left. Okay. Most young fireflies feed on nectar and pollen, although adult fireflies do not need to eat to survive.
What?
They don't need to eat.
We need to get deeper in these.
That's all they lead. They don't, then you're like, oh, let me find out about that. And then you Google, that particular fact to learn more. Yeah. Dumbledore isn't only the headmaster of Hogwarts. In fact, a Dumbledore is an Old English term for a type of bee.
Hey.
That's 194. Sometimes I skip over them if they're not appropriate.
Yeah. Hey, you've been listening to Native Roots Radio presents I'm Awake. Peeny Gigi to Nancy, State Senator Mary Kunesh, and Wendy, Zoe. Happy trails, Haley, Peeny Gigi, for everything you're doing right now and what we'll be doing in the future. We'll see you tomorrow, or see you next week.
See you on Monday. Free Leonard Peltier.
Eat Local Minnesota is a great way to find locally owned Minnesota restaurants and food purveyors.